Yo, 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 Latina P-Power, yo, my God, you guys. I'm on the edge of my seat, in my mind, not really on the seat, because you can clearly see I'm not sitting on the edge, but I'm living on the edge right now. I have so much badassery that is surrounding me right now, I almost can't contain it. And actually, I'd love to contain it. I'd love to put it in a glass bottle, like an apothecary jar, and put it on my shelf and open it up when I need it, because this power is amazing. I always say this, right? Like, Hilarious, the show. I talk about it all the time here on Latinos Out Loud, the all-female sketch variety musical comedy troupe that I created way back when, that has a show on February 10th at the People's Improv Theater. Who said that? I don't know. Anyway, shameless plug. Thank you. When we get together to do Hilarious, I gotta take off my glasses for this one. When we get together, that did nothing but just, I'm trying it for emphasis. When we get together, the Hilarious girls and I cannot tell you what it feels like in the dressing room. I've said this time and time again. The P-Power, pussy power, is amazing. It's remarkable. You can feel it. You can sense it. You can smell it. It smells good. And it smells fresh, like a summer's eve. And it's just so contagious and outrageous. I can't even explain it with any other ageist adjectives. It's remarkable, and I wanted that's going to translate here today on this episode of Latinos Out Loud. I'm going to tell you the story of how we all met, but let me just introduce my guests for today before I go on any longer, because I can go on. This is like the intro that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Shout out to Lamb Chop. Okay, dating myself like a mofo today. I decided, okay, I made the executive decision. It's my show. I made the executive decision that we were going to do a round table sort of episode today. Okay, although there's no real table here. It's gonna have to be in your imagination, and it ain't no IKEA table. Okay, we classy up in here. Shout out to IKEA, but you know what I'm saying? It's like Raymore and Flanagan. You know, it's like Bob's. Like Bob's Discount. Holler at us for some advertising, all three companies that I just mentioned, because I shop at all of you. But anyway, we're doing a round table today, and I'm going to introduce these guests that are going to just add so much color, Latinidad, and pussy power to this conversation. Starting to my left, which is your right, please welcome Melissa Rodriguez. In the middle to my left is Eunice Levis, and to my right is Astrid Andujar. Welcome, ladies. It's so good to see you.
So excited for having us.
I'm going to really try to keep myself in this chair. But know that I'm doing mental cartwheels.
We're so excited too.
We're happy to be here. So excited to be here.
First, let's talk about how this happened, because I always love good stories of how the meeting of the minds happen. So I'll start to paint the picture, but y'all jump in whenever, because this is going to be a very fluid, open conversation with so many beautiful females here. Thank you for being here again. Okay, so picture this: 2023 Dominican Film Festival, right? Am I taking you there? Everybody just networking. You know, after the film's let out, it's like the gates open for the idea exchange. You know, it's that type of event. The banderas are flying. Not really, but in my head they were, you know? And the whistles were blowing. And there were no whistles. No, I'm just thinking of Carnaval, and it was that type of excitement in the movie theater. So I saw these amazing, remarkable women's films during the block of the Dominican Film Festival. First of all, I was amazed at all the content that I saw, and the color and the darkness and just everything, the smorgasbord of emotions that were conjured up by seeing these ladies' masterpieces. Then afterwards, picture this, the concession stand, right? Because that's where it really goes down. You put popcorn in front of me, I'll find the cure to cancer if we're going to really sit there and talk about it. You know what I mean? I love popcorn, and just that vibe is just the right time, the right place. So I interrupted your conversation because you were in a great conversation. I saw that, and I was wait, excuse me.
You're it's a vibe over there. Let me go in.
You don't even know this, but little known fact, I was actually talking to somebody, but I saw you guys leaving. You were heading out. You had to go somewhere. And I was like, wait, I can't talk to you right now. I was like, it was because he was really cute. And I was like, just, can you wait here for a second? Hold that thought. I have to catch these women. And then I ran, and I ran so far. I didn't really run that far. It was just from the theater to the concession stand. But, I exaggerated.
Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack.
I lost a shoe. It was crazy. I had to run back to get the shoe. It got wedged in the carpet.
That's right.
refrigerator. Okay, pero listen. So I stopped them in their tracks. I rudely interrupted their conversation. I was like, hi, I just want to meet. I know, I've known Eunice for a really long time. Yes. I'd love to talk about that too.
Yes.
I was like, hi. My name is Rachel La Loca. I just, like, it was so nerdy, right? It was like, fangirl. Did you think to yourself, what is this loca about?
She's like, I am the crazy Rachel.
I just loved your energy. Like, your energy was just so genuine and so excited. And I was just like, oh, yeah. We were keeping you because I think you had somewhere to be. And we were like,
I know.
It was like, but this is so good. This is good. And we just kept on going.
And we kept on going.
Yeah.
It was like worth the lateness, if you ask me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, wherever we were going next. It's like, no, you don't even know what just happened.
Cancel plans.
100%.
Like, you don't even know the magic that just happened. Okay, so thanks for being understanding. I'm sorry I'm late. Okay. Yeah. Then, we were talking. And it didn't even get to that point yet. It took a few minutes. And then all of a sudden, when like the light bulb, you can feel it. It's like illuminating above your head. You have this idea. I had this idea of having all three of them on the Latinos Out Loud podcast at once. And then what do? Like the organized ladies and the badass asses that we are, we put the date in our calendars.
And made it happen.
We made it happen.
During the holidays. You guys know how hard that is, right? Like, it's hard to coordinate anything, let alone something with 4 people on a set in Astoria, Queens, that was put on the calendar well over a month ago. I want to give a quick shout out to the Dominican Film Festival for the magic that it presents every single year for featuring artwork. They also featured a film of mine this year. The Swimmers was featured in the shorts block. It was just really amazing. I want to talk about that experience and the festivals that y'all have been a part. These ladies is killing the festival circuit, y'all, like machete, guillotine, killing, murder. They should be arrested for how bad they're killing the game right now. But then we put it on the calendar. We're here now. Yes. And the thought behind this was really to have this fake round table. Again, we're envisioning the Bob's round table here. And it's like the see-through one, the nice one, the glass, okay? We're not doing fake wood, compressed wood, none of that stuff. So I wanted to talk about, one, the state of the industry, through the Latina perspective, and not give multiple perspectives. Feel free to camera 1, camera 2, Wayne's World. Yeah. And I want to talk about your individual careers, and I'd also like to talk about the future. Yeah. Okay? So I guess my first question is, let's talk about the films that were featured in the Dominican Film Festival, where it kind of started, when I got to see your art, and I wanted to activate. That's how I am here. Like, I see something, I say something. Like the MTA slogan, whatever it is, the slogan. If you see something, say something. I saw something and I said something. I can't believe they said yes. I'm still bugging out that they're all here. So please, one by one, tell us about the film that was featured in this year's 2023's Dominican Film Festival. Astrid, I guess your name starts with the letter A.
Sure.
So I guess we'll go in alphabetical order
Happy to go
now.
first. Yeah, thank you again for watching it and making the time. My show is called A Shot in the Dark. It was written and directed by me, by yours truly. It's the first time that I create something of this kind. I traveled to the Dominican Republic, where I'm from, to shoot it, and it was amazing. It was a very cathartic experience. The show itself speaks about mental health and how movement and creativity, the lead is a photographer, can help you kind of push yourself forward during a difficult situation. So I really wanted to, I saw myself as a creative person, that we all are here, to just kind of create a piece that spoke about that struggle and how I found a way to deal with it. So in a way, the film itself became a bit of a thesis of, can un clavo que saque un clavo, ¿sabe? Como que, can we do something like that? Can't this project and being creative actually help me come out of my shell, help me come out of what I'm dealing with? And it did, because through it, then I met so many people. It forces you guys are all filmmakers, it forces you to interact, to ask questions, to, I don't know what I'm doing with licensing, all of these things. Well, this Abby read, how much money is it gonna be to bring it, to the airport, all of those questions. So it forced me to rely on people. It forced me to come out of my shell a lot more. And in this way, demonstrating that, un clavo puede sacar otro clavo.
Lovely. Are you hearing these words, people? Okay. Eunice, Row in the Stardust.
Yes.
Do you want to talk? I mean, there's so much to say about it. The floor is yours, but I just want to congratulate you on this Oscar qualifying.
Seriously, amazing.
Thank you.
Massive.
Thank you so much, God. So, Rolling the Stardust, it's not my first film, but it was the first time that I was supported financially by a creative entity, Netflix.
Yay, Netflix!
Shout out.
I did it through the Naleep Women of Color Incubator.
Yay, Nali!
And they
I'm
supported.
just a cheerleader. Don't mind me.
I love it.
I'll stop interrupting.
No, Naleep and Netflix really supported my vision, supported the idea that I wanted to make it completely bilingual, that I wanted to tell the story of 3 Afro-Dominicanas in a different planet. And I never imagined that I would get the support that I did, and I was able to do it my way. It was really just a true labor of love, but what it actually represents for me is the first time that I was able to let go creatively and really be myself on film. That's beautiful. And in the past, I've tried to replicate different feels and different people and stories that I thought would be trendy or stories that I thought would, are mimicked the genre that I want to work in, which is, sci-fi and horror. But this was the first time that I kind of stuck to what I wanted to, and how I wanted to tell it, and it worked out.
How empowering.
Yes.
Like, a lot of times we're put, this is going to sound so cliche, but like you put in a box.
Yeah.
Here's your caja.
Yeah.
Una cajita de Amazon.
Yes.
Or the Netflix.
The
Or lo que sé
Netflix.
yo, right? But in this case, no. You were like, I'm coming out of my
Yes.
box and I'll do what I want. And
Yes.
be me through art.
Yes.
Lovely. Melissa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, it's so amazing how all this unfolded. But my film, we shot it in Mexico. It's based off of my mother's childhood growing up in Honduras, actually. And similar to you guys, having sort of like that personal connection or finding that like kind of meaningful thing to really kind of like ground you in your creative process. Like for me, this was such a personal project because it was my mother's childhood story, and she endured like many immigrant families, like a lot of trauma. So for me, this film is probably like the most impactful film I've made in my career so far, which is like really kind of exciting to say at the same time. But yeah, it takes place in 1960s Mexico, a young girl who's just navigating all these traumas in her childhood, and she ultimately has to make a decision whether or not she leaves that all behind or runs away. And that experience was really unique for me because not only was it my first time directing in a different country in Mexico, it was also my first time directing in all Spanish. And I always say, oh yeah, I'm bilingual, but like you got really put to the
Right.
test
Yes.
because and dealing with different dialects, like I'm Puerto Rican and Honduran, and like you're still navigating those different like cultural things, regardless. But it was such a wonderful experience, and I'm glad that I also brought my mom on set with me, which was also pretty special. Yeah.
It sounds like all the projects were sort of personal, right? Here's a bigger question. Are any projects not
Right, yeah.
personal? I'm like asking myself that question right now. I think for me, the only projects that were not personal were the projects I executed for others.
Right.
Yes.
Everything that I've executed for myself is personal.
Right.
Yes, I take it personal. Like, I don't know about y'all. Okay, I would like to know about maneuvering this industry as a woman, as a Latina. And maybe we can talk about some of the hurdles that we've encountered. Because often, you get those shows that are great, but it's also like, la, 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 like rainbows and clovers and hearts and everything in the Lucky Charms box. But like, and you can learn from that. Yes, you can. But my personal style is I also want to learn from the mistakes. I share my mistakes. And I'm not embarrassed about it either. I'm like,
Right.
I encountered this. It's never going to happen again. And I'm sharing with you so that you don't have to encounter what I did. So let's talk about the hurdles. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I can talk today. I can. It's Friday. A little tired. Went to sleep late, but I'm gonna make it happen. Come on, tongue. You better work with me. Okay. Yeah, I talk to my body parts. So let's have this open discussion. Like, there are hurdles. You know, we're in a space that, would you agree, is not dominated by Latinas?
100%.
100%.
Yes.
And so how has it been? Have you encountered any hurdles that you want to talk about? And maybe you can talk about how you've maneuvered, how you had to, like, you know, be your own GPS, your own ways. Like, police camera ahead. Wait, bitch. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you can share. Because the thing is, like, the LOLeros out there, they love to be inspired. Don't you guys? Like, I think Latinos Out Loud is that podcast that you don't have to be a filmmaker, director, professor to, like, relate to what's about to be said. Like, let's talk about those hurdles or the good bumps in the road too. Anybody want to jump off?
I can jump off. So this project, it was kind of a crazy story, and I haven't told this story.
Helado.
Yes. So originally, I had a team of men that were kind of all in on this project to kind of help me produce it. And I leaned on their support because, you know, at the time I was like trying to make good relationships, and they had an arm in Mexico. And I'm like, cool, I think this will work out. 2 weeks before I was supposed to be in Mexico, they pulled out.
Just like a man to pull out. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously, they pulled out, and I was left high and dry. And it was a situation where I had to kind of reassess everything. I started thinking, can I really do this? And I looked at the team that I already had built in, and they were like, we don't need them. And you know what ended up happening is I replaced all those people with women. And it was like a blessing in disguise. So all of my above the line people in my film, incredible, badass fucking woman. I seriously, like, I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. It means so much to me because of all that craziness that happened. Like, I can't stress, like, how I mean, you guys can imagine. Imagine, like, 2 weeks to figure out, okay, I need a DP, I need a whole camera department now, I need a whole new, like, I need wardrobe, I built a whole team in 2 weeks. It was insane, including location. It was just, and you guys saw my film, and it's like, there was so much weighted on, like, it was a period piece and all this stuff, and, like, the fact that we also did it in 2 days was like the best fuck you I could have given these people. I was like, we did it.
Put a bunch of women together, you know what I'm saying? Look, it's not gonna be that show where we're like, men, relax, okay? I know the men are like, wait, do I listen to the rest of this episode? I'm not sure.
But you know what? It's a real story that actually happened to me. And I never told that story because, you know, I try not to like dwell on that kind of stuff. And, you know, I really want to highlight mostly like the woman that really made this happen for me. You know, the producing team that I had, not only here, like, you know, Aubrey Smith, my mother, and Miriam Blanco, and Maha Mogul in Mexico. Like, those people just made everything happen. So I'm so thankful for that.
So what was the strategy? Like, when these men quit on you, did you consider stopping the whole production? Like, what was going through your head?
I was having like a quick existential crisis, and I was like, I remember my fiance, who's also, you know, a producer on this, you know, he reread my script and he was just like, we don't need them. He's like, you can do it. And it's nice to have that support too, and my mom as well, you know, and you know, with my mom, she's not, you know, she doesn't know the industry like we do, but just to have that support and saying like, we're gonna make this happen no matter what, was really helpful. And all the more special just having her there on set with me to like, you know, just navigate everything of this like craziness. Like, I mean, because we had to do everything in such a short time, I had to like wire transfer money in Mexico. I was not, you know, I didn't realize that so many things were dealt in cash there. I couldn't just take my credit card for stuff. It was literally down to the wire, and we made it happen. Like, it was insane.
Hi, Melissa, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
It's relatable too. I mean, how many times have we been there, whether you're planning a party or a film, or and then, like, you know, the people, your ride or dies, all of a sudden die, and you're like, okay, where's this ride going now? What do I do? Eunice, I know you stumbled upon maybe a challenge in finding mom for the film.
Yes.
Tell us about, because I love this story.
Yes.
I heard it like once or twice already, but I'm like this to hear it again. I'm like
Yeah.
popcorn. This is interesting. Please tell us how you found her.
Absolutely. So as I indicated, we had three Afro-Latina, it's a multi-generational story. So the grandmother, we were looking for someone who was Afro-Latina, about 80 years old. And specifically, it was very important for me to have them all culturally the same. So I wanted someone Dominican, so that the culture and the mannerisms and all that stuff would match across the board. And it was really difficult to find that, mainly because we don't have a lot of actors or actresses that are of that age. That wasn't a career choice back then, right? So we don't have a lot of them out there. It's either a second or third career, or they just happen to, to jump into the space. And that's what kind of happened to me. So Elvis Nolasco, who is my producing partner, and he does a quick little cameo in this film.
Yep. Shout out to Elvis.
Shout out to Elvis.
We love Elvis
Great.
so much. Another star of the community.
Yes.
Not just on screen, but of the community here in New York. We love you,
Yes.
Elvis.
So Elvis one day shoots us an email in a group text that we had, and we said, "Hey Elvis, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm celebrating my mother's 75th birthday." And he sends a picture of his mom, and of him and his mom, and I was like, oh. But I didn't know it was his mom. I've never seen her before, so I was like, "That is my grandmother. Who is that lady?" And Elvis was like, "What? That is my mom." And I'm like, "Would she do it?" He's like, "She's not an actress." He says, "She worked in a factory. She doesn't know this, So, kind of fast forward to all of the shenanigans that we had to do. I mean, went to the Heights, brought her chicken, brought her Coronas. We hung out in the house. I am not kidding.
Her heart.
You buttered her up.
We buttered her up big time. And she agreed. She agreed to do it for her son. She agreed. And it was really, really, she's like, "Okay, I'll do it for you guys." So we took it slow. Elvis was her coach.
Oh my God.
And Cindy de la Cruz, who plays our main character, Ro, she's amazing. Cindy would go to the Heights and rehearse with her. So it was really a labor of love, and everyone, took the time to make her as comfortable as possible. So she did a phenomenal job.
Sure did.
And you can tell that she's never been in front of the camera ever. And then later we found out that it was a secret dream of hers to be an actor.
Wow.
She's never had any opportunity to do it. So, yeah.
Just taking a moment to take all that in. Like, that's such pure familial joy.
Yes.
Like, how many stories? They're going to talk so much this Navidad. Like, Noche Buena at Elvis's house is probably
You know
going to
it.
fill with
You
these
know it.
stories. I wish I could be a fly on the wall. And she really was. Like, her mannerisms, her demeanor, the way she spoke in the film. And then when she made her hair blue.
That was
God.
so
Oh,
cool.
no spoilers,
Yes.
no spoilers. But that was such a fun
Yes,
moment
yes.
that felt so natural and organic.
Yeah.
Wow. So that you really overcame that. Did you feel at any moment like, okay, I'm not going to find this? Like,
Yes.
what was going through your head? Were you going to
Yes.
change the character? Were you going to alter the script?
So, oh my gosh. So we were going to make the character younger. But the problem was that I fell in love with Cindy. So Cindy I didn't see anyone else. Once she read it, I knew it was her. And I stopped searching. And I was like, okay, I got the mother, which is Naja Encarnacion.
Hi, Naja, who sings so beautifully,
Yes.
who acts so well.
Yes.
Shout out to Naja. We miss you. You
Yes.
got to come on the show, girl. Yeah, you.
Yes.
I'll call you. I'll call you.
So she came, she was on, Cindy was on, and then she was, Sonia, the grandmother, Yolanda Nolasco, was the missing link. And if we didn't find her, you know what? Elvis was stopping people on the subway.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. I'm going to actually show the behind
my
it.
God.
He was stopping people. He's like, I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm working on a film, and I think you'll be perfect for this role.
Yeah.
And we got...
New Yorkers specifically, yo, get on my face.
well, that was this lady.
What you want, man? You want my money, man? I could never, imagine being approached that way on the subway.
He was, taking pictures of people. I'm like, stop doing that
I'd be like,
shit.
"Is this a
Just
scam?"
like paparazzi. and just like secret.
Like, stop it. That's
Oh my
so
God.
creep.
Yo, that's so weird to me, you know, like this is like you get the CDs on the street, like
He
yo,
was
you want to check
committed.
out my music, and I'm
committed.
like, nah, man, yo, you want to be in an Oscar qualifying film? Like, what? What'd you say?
So this poor lady comes and he like takes a picture of her in the subway, like,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
yes.
Oh my God.
And she agreed to read for us, and she was actually a contender, but she just came off too young.
Okay.
But she was, Afro Latina, and she worked for the MTA. Like,
Wow.
That's so great. That's so
yeah,
New
but he
York.
really was. I was like, stop taking. He was like, what about her? I'm like, stop it right now. You're gonna get arrested.
Yo, little A for effort.
Yes.
But a little creepy.
Yeah, he's committed.
I'm sorry, I'm like laughing so hard at that because I have this visual of Elvis. Like, hey, excuse me, aren't you Elvis Nolasco? What are you doing?
Exactly.
You got this great opportunity.
Why are you on the A train looking for people? It was so random.
A-train casting. That's amazing.
I
Yes.
Oh my God,
amazing.
Astrid, as my abs and I recover, could you talk about like any hurdle that you faced
Actually,
in your filmmaking process?
Yes.
Go.
Speaking of apps. So this was a lesson in humility for me. I enjoy fitness. I enjoy working out. And luckily for me, that kind of saved me from a pretty bad injury that I almost had the day of my birthday, which was the day before we shot.
Oh boy.
So we were loading up boxes, and I'll never forget this. I was doing it with my producer, Liz, from the Matinas. And I grabbed this box and I lifted. And, I'm short, right? So, like, between my rib cage and my hip bone, whatever organ, whatever thing was in the middle did like this. It was like a tortilla, like a tostón. Like, it was
Oh my God. No.
and things got cut in the middle. And I remember just being like, wow, I see white. I was like, I see white. I was like, this is like... And I let go of that box and I was like, I'm not good, but I need to keep on going. We're shooting tomorrow. Like,
Oh my
the
goodness.
space is reserved. We were just doing the lighting that day. So I'll never forget that injury. And again, this is the first time that I make a short like this. So the following day, of course, I couldn't sleep. I'm excited. We're waking up at 5 a.m.
Yes.
So like I've been up since like 3. So I'm like, I don't know if the pain that I'm feeling, it's the injury itself or just like the excitement. So the following day was just like a just like a haze. I was in bed by 5 p.m.
Wow.
We wrapped by 4. Everything was delivered, and I was like, I need to go to bed. And the next day, I brought myself to the ER, and
God.
the doctor, she examined me. She was like, "Thank God you work out, because otherwise, like, your organs would have gotten caught in the middle of this whole thing." So it was
Ouch.
just exactly.
Whoa.
So it was just luckily just the what is it? Just the muscle, which is not bad. Yeah,
Okay.
but that was like a physical.
You endured
Like,
the whole
oh
day.
my God, the whole day. I could not move. I couldn't sit. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do this. Like, it was just completely. And of course, you're so excited. So
Right.
you're like, oh, shit, hold on. I can't.
Oh my God.
let me not get excited. Hold on. This. Yeah. But that was like a physical
Right.
huddle that I went
Badass
through.
woman
Yeah.
right there.
That's right.
You're like, I can deal with this pain tomorrow.
Sorry, let me just push my
Am I
organs to the
bleeding?
side.
Push my organs to the side. I'll
Give me a
deal with
second.
it later.
Just ice my spleen for a minute.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post. I
Just
can't.
blur it a little bit.
Wow, but that's I don't want to say like mind over matter, but like you were determined.
Yeah, I was
That
determined.
is
Yeah,
such
that
a
was it.
strong
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah.
Determination. It can even help you get over your muscles being eaten by
That's
your
right.
bones in your body, apparently. I can't believe that happened
Yeah,
to you.
it was
Girl, the only thing that I could relate to, because, this is so not filmmaking related though. So when I was pregnant with my youngest, he gave me mad tooth issues, which is said that like
Yes.
sometimes pregnancy
Yes.
can have an effect on your tooth enamel and cause you
Yes.
to get all this kind of stuff that they don't tell you
Right.
in all the what to expect when expecting books. Also, they didn't tell me my vagina was going to turn purple. I would have known that it was going to be like 10 shades darker. It reverted back. It took some time, but we're back. We're back to the same color. But I had to have an emergency root canal done on my birthday, 2 days before my scheduled C-section date.
my gosh.
And nobody wanted to take this like crying Latina in like terrible tooth pain, 9 months pregnant girl. I called so many dentists. I pleaded with them, but I guess they didn't want the like, you know, the liability and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And they had
yeah.
to put Novocaine and all that stuff. But I found somebody in Brooklyn. I found somebody in Brooklyn to do it. I got the root canal done. It was freaking terrible. And I happened to be shooting a reality show.
Oh my gosh.
Which it was all caught on camera. The producers were here shooting the whole thing.
You're
They
like,
never
this
made
is
it-
great.
I forgot that part.
More pain, more pain.
Yeah, it was like
Do not give her the
it
meds.
looked
Don't give her the
rigged.
meds.
It really looked like it was planned, but it really wasn't. And, they were, and I remember the producers like, "This is great. Let's get cameras, everybody. We're going to the dentist." And I'm like, "Okay, fine. We're going to the dentist." And I got cut right before air, by the way.
Oh my
My whole
gosh.
story but it's okay. I got my money. I got
Good.
paid. I can talk about the show. The show is out there. But anyway, and actually, I really like that they were following my progress because I pleaded with them. I'm like, I know I didn't make it to air, but one of the reasons why I did that show is I can document the pregnancy with my youngest son. They told me I couldn't have kids, so I wanted it to like, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, that like let's go back to the root canal. So. I get the root canal done in Brooklyn, of all places, of course, Brooklyn. And so, I'm from Brooklyn. And so, get the root canal done, and I did not know this, but it sent me into active labor.
Oh.
But the pain was so much.
Oh my God.
I didn't even feel the, like, I thought it was Braxton Hicks, you know, those fake
Yeah.
contractions.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, stop with your Braxton Hicking. I have a freaking root canal that I'm healing from. And I didn't know, so I showed up at the hospital for my scheduled C-section. 2 days later, I was in labor for 2 days and didn't even know it.
Oh, my God.
And she was like, whoa, hot tamale. You know, she's like, you're ready. You want to start pushing? And I was like, pushing what? Like, I'm here for a C-section. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that's going to be pushing is the food and the dessert cart
Right.
because I'm starving. And she was like, no, you're dilated, you're ready. And so, of course, you know, they called my
Wow.
doctor and he came in and he was like, no pushing, C-section. Had the C-section, Benjamin was born. But yeah, I was in the delivery room with an ice bag on my face.
God.
The cameras were
Just
rolling.
so much
It
pain.
was such a, but I didn't even feel it. It's kind of, and your
Yeah.
story made me think of that.
Yeah. You just
I
keep
didn't
going.
even feel it. I just
Yep.
kept going. I had a
Yep.
baby to deliver.
Right.
A baby that they told me that I couldn't have.
Right.
So I wasn't going to mess up that production
Right.
process.
That's right.
You know, as much as was in my power and capacity to do.
It's like, this is in the schedule. We're
Right.
sticking to the
Gotta
schedule.
go. Gotta do
Baby
it.
gotta come out. I'm sorry. Listen, my son will come out tomorrow. I'm serious, Wizard of Oz. But anyway, it's perseverance, right? It's the mind. It's these tools. But I also think, no offense, men, I love you. Okay, I do. Or however you identify if you're not a woman. We are warriors. We are built with this like armor. I've seen it. It just kind of like, whoop. I'm like, how did I get this armor on? Oh, great. Chastity belt too? Like, fuck me. Or don't. But like, all the tangents. Ride with me, people. I know sometimes it gets fast. I'm going 90. Let me bring it back down to 45, New York State speed limit. Okay. But like the warriorness of being a woman, it excites me, y'all. Because when the challenge arises, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a little difficult, but pussy
Right.
power! You know, like pussies unite and or pussies unite. Or pussies unite. We gotta like get a sign going.
I like that one better. Yeah, yeah.
This is like
yeah,
a PU. Pussy, well, PU doesn't really sound good.
No.
We're not about that kind of life, okay? Like I said, fresh as a summer's eve, okay? Okay, I want to talk about the current state of the industry. We talked a little bit about it before, but like, what are you doing to move the needle? Because you're all moving the needle. This is a very set up question. I'm like, you know, this is volleyball. You're all moving the needle. We talk about that a lot here on Latinos Out Loud, that everybody, LOLeros, we can all move the needle in our own fields. We can conquer. We could do this. It's very easy. But I'd like for you to talk about how you feel you're moving the needle in this space and what are some of those tactics that you're using?
Well, I'll jump in. So I there's two things. One is that I am continuing to, you know, I've made a lot of contacts, going to all these festivals and all of the organizations that I've joined, and just using that as a resource. So I also like pay it forward in that way. So that's one thing just for me, but for others, I teach. Right. So I'm a professor. I teach intro to digital filmmaking, and I love it. And I feel like, you know, giving back and teaching what I've learned is a key way to ensuring that things will be equitable in the future. But also, it allows me to learn firsthand about what is blocking our way in. Seeing these kids, like, they're usually like from 17 to 19. What hinders their progress, and then kind of matching it to mine, like, how did I get through that, and guiding them through that process. And oftentimes it's just like, how do I start? Everyone just wants to know how to start. And we have a lot of support to begin, but oftentimes as a professional, for me, I don't find the support I need as a professional to continue to grow or to pivot. So, for example, using the short film to then pivot to features or series, like, there's not a lot of people who have walked that walk. And if they did, if they have, it's really difficult to find, the journey, like the blueprint for that. So I try to be the person that I would like to find in my career.
Goodness gracious, love those words.
Yeah. I feel like 100%, like 1,000,000% agree. I also teach at the university, teach filmmaking, and it feels like it's so rewarding to like give back in that way, especially like with like other like BIPOC students. And similar to what you were saying, like I'm just like, I tell my students, I'm like, ask me anything. I'm like,
Yes.
no, really, anything.
Yes.
I will tell you straight up. Like, I remember one student day one was like, is there any money in short films? I was like, I laughed. I'm like, no. But you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I am real. Like, I just, like you said, like, I wish I had someone that, like, gave me all those tools at that age.
Yeah.
Because then I think, man, if I knew this stuff when I was 18, maybe I could have had a bigger jump start, you know? Because, like, I still feel like I'm getting my footing in, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I love that aspect of it. And, like, also what you were saying, like, for me, I like finding other stories that I relate to. They just all happen to be like, other like female writers or female directors that I kind of want to help as well. Now that I've kind of been through that process myself, like walk the walk, I'm like, great, let me help you.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that because then that's how you build community.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, for me, it's very similar too, actually. So for this short, since I was, in this very privileged space of being able to hire people and create a crew, I also made a crew of only women,
Same.
except for maybe like two
PP.
folks.
Yes. No PU, we changed it.
We changed it.
It sounds so much better. So yes, it was just kind of like, okay, well, we're giving employment to all of these other women, from the cook to the driver to everyone.
Yes.
So I love that I was able to do that from a financial point of view, and also shout out to NOMAP, which is the North Manhattan Art Alliance, which helped me with a grant to make this happen as well. So thank you guys.
We love Art Stroll, everything that Noma
Yes.
does, the poster contest.
So fun.
It's
Yeah.
so great. Shout out to Noma.
Yeah, I really love them. That was the first thing, and then my background comes from working in advertising. So I've been working in the ad business for the last 10 years, and I love it. I mean, I love. Right before shooting, A Shot in the Dark, I was shooting with Bad Bunny for like commercials with my company. I work at Spotify.
So awesome, girl.
Thank you. It was like it was a dream come true, really, because it was working with Bad Bunny one day, and the next day I was shooting my short. It was just like,
Very cool.
Again, I was just like, just tinkling. I was like, this is crazy. In the Dominican Republic, it's like the place where I was born and raised. So I was on cloud nine. I was in a high. I was so happy. But before doing all of this, I also worked at an organization called Add Color.
Big up to Add Color. This gets me excited. I have a marketing background. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to stop. Zip. I'm going to go on mute. Zoom. Okay.
I love it. But yeah, I was at Add Color for about 3 years, and I loved it. I was working with fellow creatives to kind of make initiatives. Like you might be familiar with Futures, which is
No, I don't know.
is an initiative to get young folks within the business that are anywhere from 19 to I think it's 28, 26, to just kind of come and be mentored for an entire week. And these are just people that are 1 to 3 years within their career. So
How
very,
can
very
we?
new.
Can you plug how people can find out about that? 'Cause
Absolutely.
that sounds like something the LOLeros, if you're out there,
Yes.
escucha,
Yes,
solo
yes.
escucha.
Yeah, and hit me up. I mean, ask me any questions. I can put you guys into touch for sure. But if you go into addcolor.org, you will find all the info. And the program I'm referring to is called Futures, and it happens once a year. It just ended recently, but definitely go into the website and find out more information about it.
Okay, there's such a common denominator here. I'm gonna just take it out. I love fractions. Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't like math.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we get to fractions and decimal points. Math overall. There's this common denominator here of education and instilling the tactics and the tools for the future generations,
Yes.
the future Melisas, the future Astrids, the future Eunices, the future Locas. Right? So I'm also teaching. I teach at CUNY Brooklyn College, advanced radio and podcasting.
Yes.
And like shorts, I'm just going to be short here. It's not paying all that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not making bank. We're not making boo-coo, you know what I'm saying? We're making boo-hoo. Like, it's really not.
Yes. Trust us, it's a love.
Yes,
Okay.
We get it.
definitely love.
Nonprofit.
It's a love thing.
Yes,
There's so
yes.
much fulfillment
Yes.
knowing that you're like, here, youth,
Yes.
Yeah.
take everything that I know.
Yes.
We only have one semester, 3 hours a week,
Right.
but I'm going to give you everything I can.
Right.
Guest speakers, real life experience. I mean, I cannot wait to start next semester. It starts January 30th for me. We are going to dissect the fuck out of podcasts. I have been calling my friends in radio and podcasting. I'm like, what are you doing on Monday? Like, I did all the guest speakers, lining them up, and I'm getting just so excited because I wanted that teacher when I was a student at Brooklyn College.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was looking for Professor Loca. Granted, I found a lot of great ones, okay? Shout out to everybody at Brooklyn College who just hosted my live podcast event last Tuesday.
Amazing.
At the Walt Whitman Theater.
Amazing.
Which was so full circle. Thanks. Thank you for the, I welcome the applause. We'll take an applause break. Go ahead.
Wait, is that your alma mater?
Yes.
Me too.
So cool.
CUNY Brooklyn College?
Yeah, I went there
Did we not talk about
for
this?
grad school.
Oh my gosh. How did that not come up
I did
that
the
day?
television and radio department.
Girl,
there.
Trem
Yes.
is who sponsored my event, and I'm teaching in the Trem department starting. Oh my God,
God.
this is so
we
great.
must know a lot of the same professors. and stuff there.
Absolutely. And Professor Sosa came to my
Oh
event.
my God! Yes, I know Irene Sosa. Right?
Yes.
Jason Moore.
I know Jason Moore. I know of him, but I don't know him.
Well, he was more in the film, So, but it's cool. No, I'm geeking out.
And Ray Robinson is the head of the department.
Okay.
So shout out to everybody in Trem because they produced the students of Intro to Radio and podcasting produced my show, 2 episodes.
Oh, wow.
That's
Nice.
so
Very cool.
That's
And
very
can
cool.
I tell you, being that we're talking about
Yeah.
the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay, y'all don't even know what happened the night before. Twas
tell.
the night before the live LOL podcast, and all through the house, not a pipe was bursting. I don't know another word that rhymes. Okay, but it was okay. It's the holiday season. It's in my head. All I do is like listen to Christmas songs all day. A pipe burst in the TV and radio studio in Studio B,
Oh,
where
wow.
the event was supposed to happen. And building, like the security was like, they deemed it unsafe. No one was able to enter. So we had to find a new venue in 24 hours on campus. And things
Oh,
got
did you
booked.
just go to the radio room? Like
We had
where'd
2
you go?
episodes. We had 75 guests per episode. Shout out to Kaba. Kaba was in the building.
Oh my goodness.
And so, I can't believe this happened, but the day that I went in for a rehearsal, the day before, which I thought was going to be a rehearsal, they showed me the pipe explosion. They were like, we're going to do a tour of venues available on campus.
They showed you the pipe. They're like, no,
Yeah, they showed me, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I mean,
You're like,
all
okay,
the-
fine.
Oh,
right? The electrical damage
Get
because
it.
their grid is on the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm so sorry about that, Brooklyn College. But anyway, we went to Walt Whitman Theater, and they were like, "We can turn the stage of this theater into a studio." I was like, "Okay,"
Yes.
and they did it
They
flawlessly.
made it work.
Wow.
Oh, they worked overnight. Shout out to
Wow.
the union guys over at Brooklyn College's Walt Whitman Theater, and they turned the stage into a studio. It was beautiful, and the production value, like everything, just looked really beautiful. No one would know. No one would ever know that we had like a last minute venue change. But this common denominator, like those students learned real, like
Right,
they
yeah.
like, you go
Real
learn
life
today.
scenario.
Yeah. You go
That's a
learn
real
today.
life scenario.
They had to take all of the equipment out of Studio B, bring
Yeah.
it to the Walt Whitman stage, set up green screens, lights, cameras, action, everything. They had to do all of that in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
But it was so amazing to me to see their fulfilled faces at the end of the production. They were like clipboard in hand, headset. They were like looking at each other like, we did it.
It's a vibe.
Yes.
That was their final project too for the semester.
That's amazing.
I hope they all get
vibe.
A's. Professor Chung, I think Professor Chung should give them all A's and A pluses. And so I just love that we're all so in that like fabric of education. It sounds like a very important pillar to all of us. I try to
Absolutely.
instill that in my kids too. I guess I want to hear from you ladies about like anything you want to talk about right now, like anything you're working on. Get us excited.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, if you had a younger version of you right here in front of you, a younger Melissa, a younger Eunice, a younger Astrid, like what are some words of advice that you would give her right now? Because here's the thing. Young you may be out there somewhere, but
Yeah.
there are also young yous in the Eloelero hive,
That's right.
Yep.
listening to this episode, yearning for that real world advice. So if you can drop some knowledge. And I want to hear about your projects too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll try to be quick. I have a short that I produced in the fall that's going to be coming out later this year called Behind the Pose, so stay tuned for that. And I'm looking to develop Elado into a feature, and that would be my first feature.
Yeah.
So this winter, I'm like cracking down. I'm like, I gotta write it the script. So that's what's going on. What was the other part?
If you had a younger
Oh
Melissa,
God.
right here, are some
What would I
words of
say?
advice?
Stay true to who you are. Family's everything, and don't give up. Just keep going.
I love it.
Yes.
That was perfect.
Absolutely.
Anybody can go next. You, Miss Astrid.
So what's next for me? Rolling the Stardust is currently in the midst of campaign to get shortlisted for the Oscar. We are Oscar qualified.
Hello.
And we're trying to get shortlisted.
Hello, Oscar. Yes, let me call you back. Hold on. What?
Yes.
This is great.
So we are almost ending that in 2 days. Actually, the Academy starts voting early next week, and we'll know actually by the end of next week if we are shortlisted. So we'll see. My next project is actually I'm filming it today. In a few minutes, I have to run on to set.
Wow.
Affordable Housing. It's a campy horror short written by Wimoto Nayoka, and I am so excited about it. It's going to be amazing. And I also am working on the feature version of Rolling the Stardust.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
And that is called To the Moon. And I'm really excited about that.
That is so exciting.
Thank you.
Congrats, Eunice.
Thank you.
Oh, amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to go next. So, very much like you, I am beginning to write and dig more into horror. And so I'm very, very interested in watching all the horror movies, which I love. My friends think it's really funny when I'm like, yeah, I'm just at home relaxing, just watching,
Horror.
like just horror.
Dismembers mates.
Yeah, exactly. There's a scary nun. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
You're just watching
Just
people get
casual.
smashed.
Very
On the subway?
casual.
No, just some film. You know?
Like, yeah, just a Tuesday night. What else am I? Yeah. I think, and what I'm gonna tell myself, and which I continue to tell myself, and I think I'm just gonna continue to do that till I'm older, until till I'm in my 80s. Hopefully, I'll make it there. Is to just keep on doing it afraid. I think I've been afraid about a lot of things in my life, beginning, for example, with filmmaking, doing it for the first time, not knowing how to do it, and then just doing it afraid.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'll figure it out. I have a relocating for a while to Madrid. I'm gonna be going to a film school there.
Amazing!
nice.
Kinda like-
Wow, this is called celebration.
Congratulations.
Oh my God. I like it. This is great.
So yeah, I'm really excited. Am I afraid? I am. Gracias.
Great.
Congratulations, Astrid.
But I'm doing it afraid. And
Yes.
again, that's just like a thematic within my life. So I think even for my younger self, before I begin to use that, I would just tell her that. Just you're
Do
scared
it
shitless,
afraid.
just do it
As long as you
anyway.
do it, right?
Right.
Just do it.
Like, do it with whatever.
Like
the
Nike,
certain
just
thing-
do it. Like
do it.
seriously, honestly,
I know, the advertising person had to
it is
say
really
that.
good advice. Like just go for it.
Yeah,
go-
listen,
just
whoever
go for
came
it.
up with that at Nike, first of all, kudos.
Genius.
Yeah, yeah,
just
it's genius.
Just do it. Like, and how simple is that?
Yes.
It must have been like an intern. Like, hey guys, I got
I
it.
know.
Shut up, intern. How about just do it?
And they're like,
Wait a
whoa.
minute, that works.
Yeah.
Just do it is great. If you wouldn't mind also dropping your handles.
Yes.
So that the LOLeros can follow you if they're not doing so already. Hit it.
Oh, sure. My personal handle is at Sick Rubber Ducky, and my business handle is Riot Girl Productions.
Love Riot Girl Productions. It's so great. Oh gosh, I love it.
Mine is, you can follow me at row_stardust. And my personal is Eunice_E_Levis.
Yes, son.
And mine is Astrid Andujar. So that's Astrid.Andujar. And that's for Insta, and for my website, it's just without the period. And just follow me for, I guess, more content about living in Madrid now. And like shooting.
Living vicariously
and getting-
through you.
I'm gonna
Yes.
put you on the alert. So every time you post, I get
Absolutely.
an alert. I need that
Please,
alert in
please,
my life. Yes, please post a lot
It's gonna
of
be a
wine
lot of
And
Food.
food, please.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
I went to Spain for the first time like a year and a half ago, and I'm like, why have I not come here before sooner?
Right.
We have to talk about
I
that.
love
Beautiful.
Spain.
Yes, I went to Salamanca. It was really amazing.
Nice.
We'll
Send me
talk
back
off the
yes,
year.
of course.
All right, listen. You can follow me at Rachel La Loca. I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to everyone who came to Brooklyn College last week for Latinos Out Loud Live, 2 episodes. Shout out again to the guests that I had, comedian Gina Brillon, and then Radel Ortiz and his whole family was on that stage. It was so inspiring. Please check out those episodes. I'm not sure when this episode is going to air, but just check your list there. With 375 episodes, I mean, I hope you've listened to all of them. And if you haven't, the Christmas time is the best time to just binge Latinos Out Loud. Again, heartfelt thanks to the audience that trooped it on the 2 and the 5 train to Flatbush, Utica. Thank you so much for coming to Brooklyn. MJ Robinson, Young Chung, Tom Eng, everybody who produced that show. It was just really special to me. I'm still vibing like more than a week later. So that's how you know it was impactful. Like I seriously had to go dormant on Instagram for a few days because I'm like, if I post, I'm gonna cry while I type the caption, and I just don't want to do that right now. So I'm gonna absorb all the feelings, embrace this joy, and then when I'm ready, I will post. And I put up my post just yesterday. My thank you post with some pictures and the reels and all the things that the kids want to see these days.
Yes.
All right, so please follow the show at We Are Latinos Out Loud. Give us a call. We have a phone number. Actually, it's great. 978 Latinos is the number. 978 Latinos. Give us a call. No big whoop. And you can also follow me personally at Rachel, R-A-C-H-E-L, La Loca. That's right. This has been another episode of Latinos Out Loud. Thank you, everyone here. Thank you to Kaba, super producer in the background. Thank you, ladies, for your time.
Thank you so much.
Having us.
For your art.
Yes.
For your words of inspiration that I know are going to move mountains for the LOLeros. Like I can feel the mountains moving. It's like the continental drift all over again, Latina style.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to or watching this episode. On that note, we out.
It's the Latinos Out Loud podcast.